Dear students, hope all of you are fine. In previous chapter, we have studied about fossil fuels, that is coal and petroleum. They are fuels as they produce energy on burning. When we burn liquefied petroleum gas or candle, we see blue flame. But when coal is burnt, no flame is observed. To know about this process or this event, we will study the chapter Combustion and Flame. In this chapter, we will study definition of combustion, conditions required for combustion, ignition temperature, flame, inflammable substance, types of combustion, various methods to control fire, fuel, difference between ideal and non-ideal fuel, fuel efficiency in terms of calorific value, harmful effects of burning, global warming and acid rain. When we heat any substance, what do we observe? First, temperature of that substance increases. If it increases without formation of any new substance, then it is a physical change and it is only heating. If on heating, temperature will rise and after some time, the substance changes into a new substance either with formation of flame or without flame, then this is a chemical change and this chemical change is called combustion. You can define combustion as a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give off heat and light. And one example is burning of wood. There is difference between burning and combustion, a little bit difference is there. In burning, large amount of heat energy is not produced and burning always takes place with a flame. But in combustion, large amount of heat energy is produced and it is not necessary that combustion will always take place with a flame. And there are substances which can be burnt, which cannot be burnt. And these are called combustible and non-combustible substances. Substances which easily catch fire are combustible substances such as paper, coal and wood. Substances which do not catch fire easily, they are non-combustible substances. Now the question is, what are the conditions required for combustion? And I will explain you with this activity. You see here, candle is there. Candle is the combustible substance. And in these three figures, you see carefully. In figure 1, candle is burning as air is supplied from the bottom and the gas formed after burning is getting released from the upper part of the container. And in figure 2, the supply of air is not there and the gas produced after burning is getting released, but the supply of air is not there even if the combustible substance candle is there. And in figure 3, the supply of air is also stopped and the gas formed after burning, that is carbon dioxide gas, is getting stored inside the container and so it is also not burning. And figure 1 will continue burning because combustible substance candle is also there, supply of air is also there and heat temperature is enough to burn the candle. But in these two, figure 2 and 3, in figure 2 air is not supplied continuously and in figure 3 CO2 is also getting collected inside the container and air is also not supplied. We can conclude that air is very necessary for combustion and conditions required for combustion is presence of combustible substance, here it was candle, presence of air and sufficient heat energy to attain the ignition temperature. So these are the conditions required for combustion. There is a term, ignition temperature. The minimum temperature at which any substance catches fire is called ignition temperature. Now, if any substance catches fire, it may result into accident. Then there is a question how to control fire. You can control fire by stopping the supply of air, by removing the combustible substance, or by raising the ignition temperature. Let us see different types of fire and the way they are controlled. Class A fires are the easiest to put off. They involve solid materials like wood, paper, plastic or clothing, and they are extinguished by using water. Class B fire involves inflammable liquids like oil, alcohol or gasoline. Water is not used to put off because water is heavier than oil, and oil will float over the water and it will not put off the fire because there will be supply of air with the fire. Class C fire, it involves source of electricity, and in this case water is not used. And first thing what we have to do is we have to disconnect the power supply, and instead of water we have to use CO2 fire extinguisher for putting off the class C fires. In this way we can control the fire. When any substance burns, then we identify them with the help of flame. What is flame? Visible part of any combustible substance is called flame. Or you can say that gaseous or vaporized part of fuel is also called flame. The flame is having various zones. Here is candle flame, and the outermost zone of the candle flame is zone of complete combustion. And then there is middle zone. Middle zone is the zone of incomplete combustion, and there is a dark zone inside the flame, and this is a zone of non-combustion. No combustion is taking place here. And the color of the flame undergoing complete combustion is blue, and the color of the flame undergoing incomplete combustion, that is middle zone, is yellow in color. It contains unburnt particles also. That unburnt particles are called soot, and there is a region that is dark zone. It is cool also. It is the colder part of the flame, and it is innermost zone of the flame. Next topic is types of combustion. There are three types of combustion. They are rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion and explosion. In rapid combustion, combustible substance catches fire rapidly. Its ignition temperature is just more than the room temperature. In spontaneous combustion, the substance catches fire on its own. No heat supply is required. And it catches fire at room temperature. So its ignition temperature is less than room temperature or equal to room temperature. Example is phosphorus burns spontaneously. Next is explosion. Explosion is a combustion in which heat energy is produced along with light also and sound. All combustion processes are accompanied with heat energy, light energy and formation of new substance. But explosion is the type of combustion in which sound is also produced. Fuel and fuel efficiency. Any substance which produces enough heat energy on burning to be utilized for domestic work or industrial work is fuel. We will study fuel efficiency in terms of calorific value. The definition of calorific value is amount of heat energy produced per unit mass of fuel is called calorific value. Its SI unit is joule per kg. it is also expressed in kilojoule per kg. Here in this table there are various fuels with different amount of heat energy produced when 1 kg of that fuel is burnt. When we burn any substance, then new substances are formed, and these new substances can produce harmful effects, and we will study the harmful effects of combustion in this topic. One of the harmful effect is global warming, and another one is acid rain, and we will also study the effect of harmful gases on our health, and it is due to carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, etc. In this figure you can see that due to the complete burning, CO2 gas is evolved. CO2 gas is the gas whose molecules trap heat energy. Heat energy remains stored in the CO2 molecules. These CO2 molecules cover the earth and they do not allow the heat energy of the atmosphere to escape into the space, and so the heat energy gets stored in the atmosphere, causing a rise in temperature, and this rise in temperature in Earth's atmosphere is called global warming. Next harmful effect is acid rain. You can see here, when the substances are burnt, organic matter is burnt or any waste is burnt, then harmful substances are produced, harmful gases are produced in the air. These gases are CO2 also, SO2 and NO2, and they are soluble in water, and when rain takes place and when it precipitates during water cycle, then the rainwater, which is pure water, distilled water, it dissolves these gases, and when CO2 gets dissolved, carbonic acid is formed. When SO2 reacts with water, sulfurous acid is formed, and when NO2 reacts with water, nitrous acid is formed. These acids remain in the rainwater and makes the rainwater acidic, and such rain which contains acid is very harmful for our health, and such rain is called acid rain, and it is all due to the gases produced on burning. See the effect of incomplete burning on our health. When any fuel burns incompletely, then a harmful poisonous gas is produced, that is carbon monoxide. And when we inhale carbon monoxide, then carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin of our blood. Actually, hemoglobin does the function of carrying oxygen, and oxygen should combine with hemoglobin, and hemoglobin supplies oxygen to our cells, but in presence of carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin, as it has more affinity for hemoglobin, and oxygen is unable to combine with hemoglobin, and so the hemoglobin does not form oxyhemoglobin. When hemoglobin combines with oxygen, it forms oxyhemoglobin, and oxygen is carried to the cells in the form of oxyhemoglobin. But in presence of carbon monoxide, oxygen is unable to combine with the hemoglobin, and carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin, and the molecule which is formed is carboxyhemoglobin, and now carboxyhemoglobin is supplied to the cells, but the cells are waiting for oxygen, and cells, they do not get oxygen, and due to shortage of oxygen, cells die, and finally the individual also dies. In this way, the incomplete burning produces very harmful effect on our health. Friends, in this chapter we have seen what is the what are the effects of burning on our health also, and on ecosystem also. Burning is very important process, important chemical process, and it is required for many purpose, but it should always be done in a controlled way. So in this chapter you have learned the definition of combustion and what are the conditions required for combustion and the harmful effects of burning and many other topics. So at last I would like to say that this chapter is over. Now you revise it and solve the question answers.